many a times, like, I had an opportunity to listen to you, to interview you. So you have always said that, people do not decide their future, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. So most of the time you start with this. So I took an opportunity to start with this quotation. So again, I'll repeat this. People do not decide some bad habits and some good savings or investment habits.
Thank you, Saurabh. You actually stole my thunder. So that's the only quote that I usually use because it does have an impact. But, I've had pretty much a middle class upbringing like most of us. And if you ask me, this is not where I had thought I would end up. It was the quintessential story of middle class parents not allowing their kids to do alternate careers and just moving in either science, commerce, or arts. I wanted to be in the Indian Army. I wasn't allowed. So NDA wasn't allowed. And then I wanted to join NID. Then I wasn't allowed. So I just filled up an application form that my elder brother had done in commerce, and I just followed through, and here I am. So, like most of us, I think that sometimes, by serendipity or whatever, you end up. Thankfully, hard work and good luck and great mentors have helped me reach where I am. And I'd say that, when it comes to the subject of money, some of the insights that I would have gained as I've spoken to people or read books or met advisors is a starting point for all of us here in India or anywhere around the world is to realize is why is this so difficult? Why is this so confusing for all of us? And the reason is that for every self-respecting adult, the two things that they should know to control their future is health and wealth. And we are not taught this in schools, right? We don't learn about good nutrition or money management in schools. So when we get our first jobs and when we become adults, we start looking idhar udhar and say, "Arey, aapne kya kiya hai? Tumne kya kiya hai?" So you buy a stock here or a flat there or a property here, whatever you can do, and then we end up having a lot of financial anxiety because we haven't learned the basics. It's not taught in schools. It's not taught in schools in India. It's not taught in schools all around the world, at least in the way it should. The other difficulty for most of us when we deal with the subject of money in India, more specifically, is that we have four regulators that decide rules for one household wallet. So you have the Reserve Bank of India that thinks about rules on savings and loans. You have the SEBI for all the capital market part. You have IRDA for insurance, and now you have the PFRDA for pension. Whereas for an individual household, you want everything. And since there are four different sets of people who end up talking to you, it ends up being confusing. So I think it's important to know the source of financial anxiety. And as Shivani mentioned, if we can become more aware, it helps us along. I'd probably say that from a money mantra perspective, and Sarvana mentioned Morgan Housel and the Psychology of Money, also a favorite author of mine. I'd probably say that the simplest way that Morgan Housel explained to think about managing money is to manage it in 4 steps, right? And the 4 steps simply are: spend less than you earn, right? That's step number 1. Spend less than you earn, save the difference, invest in a diversified portfolio, which is what both Nilesh Bhai and Radhika were talking about. And the 4th step is have patience. Now, it's very simple, right? Spend less than you earn, save the difference, invest in a diversified portfolio, have patience. That's the rule for money management. But all of it's difficult. Let me tell you that spending less than you earn is difficult for a lot of people, especially in a digital environment. And the last step, having patience, is also difficult because, we are humans at the end of the day and we have lots of dreams and aspirations. So I'd stop there. I'm sure that we will bring out a lot more nuances about both behavioral or otherwise related to money. And I hope that we'll have a good conversation around it. Over to you, sir.
Sure. Thank you. I think, very